Mccollum ready to step in now, lead off for the Detroit Tigers. He batted .249 for the year with 16 home runs and knocked in 56 runs. The Cardinals around the infield have Shannon at third, Maxwell at short, Javier at second, Cepeda on first base, Brock, Blood, and Maris in the outfield. The pitch, we're underway. It's outside for a ball. So the 1968 World Series is underway here in St. Louis. 80-degree weather, sunny skies. And two teams at one going away in their league. There's a cut and a miss on a fastball. And the count on Mccollum, the leadoff man, is 1-1. Young man from Connecticut. He started out as a shortstop. Tigers moved him to second base. He's much more at home there. The pitch is a ball wide, high and away, and the count on Mccollum leading off. 2 balls and 1 strike. Mccarver working back of the bat, giving the sign to the fast-working Bob Gibson. And the right-hander fires. Here's a pop-up. Foul ball over near the Tiger dugout. It will be out of play. Shannon came over. Mccarver went over, but it was in the seats, just behind the Tiger dugout. Wally Moses coaches at first base for the Tigers. Tony Cuccinello down at third. Gibson regarded as one of the great competitors in baseball today. Tearing in to get his sign now from Mccarver. It's Mccollum leading off in the opening game of the series. Swing and a miss. Chucked him out. He threw that one right by. Now Mickey Stanley, the converted shortstop, steps in for the Tigers. Grand Rapids, Michigan. Gentleman who came along in the Tiger farm system. He batted .259 for the year, 11 home runs and 60 RBIs. Foul ball out of play. This one over toward the Cardinal dugout. And Mr. Gorman used to do some pitching. Pitches one out to the Cardinal pitcher, Gibson. Outfield is straight up on Stanley. He's the type of hitter who hits to right quite a bit. Now Gibson winds and pitches. There's a curve outside. 1-1. Gibson has said that he'll try to keep the ball away from these Tiger hitters. Try to prevent the long ball. He struck out the first man he faced, Mccollum. There's a low outside pitch. 2-1. Pee-wee, both these fellows are rather quick workers.
I was just thinking that if both these fellows have the stuff, it looks to me like Bob Gibson does have, they get right back on that mound, and they are ready to pitch. If that hitter steps in there, it's going to be a quick ball game.
There's a half swing, ruled a strike. He tried to hold up and couldn't. And the count on Stanley, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Talking about these pitchers that do not take much time, this is better for the defense, too. I think the infielders and the outfielders, they're more apt to make the better plays for you if you do not take too much time on that mound.
Stanley fouls off the next pitch. He's pulling it. The count remains at 2-2 on him. Gibson ended the 67 series by striking out Scott. He started the 68 one by finding Mccollum. Here's the ball low. And we've got a full count on Mickey Stanley. Infield back, and the outfield is a little bit to right now. The center fielder Flood is a little bit over to the right field side. The pitch swung on as a drive to left field. Coming in is Brock. He plays it on one hop. It'll be a single for Mickey Stanley. There's the first hit of the series. Stanley rips a single into left, bringing up Al Kaline. Pee-wee, here's a gentleman that everybody around Detroit, and I guess all over the country, happy to see in the series after he'd waited 16 years.
Yes, you can't keep him pulling for a fellow like this. I asked him today, I said, Al, how old are you? And he said, Pee-wee, I'm 33, and that makes me about 17 or 18 when he first came up.
Here's the pitch. The runner goes. Here's a swing and a miss. Throw to second. Out. Javier took the throw as they moved the man on the pitch. And it's Mccarver to Javier for the out. So Stanley cut down going to second base. And the count on on K-line is strike one. Gibson winds and pitches. Hits the ball outside. Got out of the mid of Mccarver. No score. We're in the first inning. The Tigers have sent two batters up, a strikeout, a single, and a man out stealing. And that's the situation here in the first half of the first inning. Gibson on the mound. K-line with a 1-1 pitch coming up. Swings and fouls it out of play. 1 ball, 2 strikes. K-line are one of the few ball players who never played in the minor leagues. Came off the sandlots of Baltimore right straight for the Tigers. Here's the pitch. It's a curve, it's high. 2-2, that's the count on out.
Well, Ernie, it looks like Mayo Smith's going to do a little running today if he has the men on there to run with. I think Al Kaline was a little unhappy with himself, and he probably had a hit and run on, and Al did not protect the runner, and you could see he was a little mad.
Here's a cut in the list on a breaking ball. And the inning's over. That's the end of a half inning. It's the Tigers nothing and the Cardinals coming to bat. The Tigers take to the field, and we'll see the 31-game winner, Denny Mclean, go to work. Now, the Tigers will have Word at third, Stanley at short, McCollum at second, Cash at first, Horton in left, Northrup is in center, and K-line in right. And Pee Wee, Mclean and Gibson are a lot alike in one respect, that with 2 strikes on the batter, they'll both just blaze that ball in there, as Gibson did against McCollum.
Well, that's one thing that Sandy Koufax says quite a bit. He believes in that, too. When you get 2 strikes on a hitter, just don't waste the pitch where the batter has no chance to swing at it. And as you say, Mclean and Gibson both. When they get 2 strikes, they try to make that hitter go far that bad pitch, but just trying to hit that outside corner.
Lou Brock will lead off for the Cardinals against Denny Mclean. Brock hit .279 over the season, 6 home runs and 52 RBIs. Speedster on this ball club. This is his 3rd series. And Denny Mclean, with his first pitch to the Cardinals, delivers a high, hard one on the left-hand batting Brock. He peers in this freehand to get the sign, pitches again. There's a cut on the miss. Took a little bit off that one, I think, Pee Wee.
Yes, he did. I was just noticing what a Brock can do to a ball club. Norm Cash is about even with the bag at first base. And down at third base, downward, he must be 4 or 5 steps. If any kind of a ball hit down the third base line could possibly go by downward. But you have to play him there. This fella, Ken Bunnin, likes to bunt.
Here's a windup, and the pitch to Brock. He takes one that is in too close, 2-1. That was McLean's fastball. McLean wears contact lenses. He has one of them tinted, and the other eye is not tinted. Says he sees much better now that he discarded the regular type glasses. Here's the pitch. Swing a bounding ball to short. Stanley has his first chance. Throw to first. Got him. So Mickey passes the test on the first ground ball.
Well, Mickey's done all right as a shortstop. First time up to get himself a base hit. And that play right there was not an easy chance. It was a 3/4 hop. A little bit to his right, but as I said, this fellow's had quite a series at shortstop.
Wouldn't you think, Pee Wee, that he's sort of glad to have that first turn at bat and that first stealing chance behind him?
You better believe it.
Here's Kurt Flood now, the right-hand batting outfielder. No score. We're in the last half of the first inning. 1 out and nobody on for the Cardinals. Here's a high one, ball 1 on Flood. Denny Mclean pitching for the Tigers. Flood hit .301 over the year, swings and misses, and the count is even on him at 1-1. They're playing him in a little bit close, too, but not as much as they did Lou Brock. Word is wide of the bag and inside it, almost to the inner grass. Here's the pitch. Swing and a tip foul out of the mid of freehand. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Is the veteran in point of service on this Cardinal team. Great day for baseball, Mr. Reese, a little on the warm side.
Yes, it is. When I woke up this morning, I thought it may rain.
Looked like it for a while. Here's the sidearm fastball, but for the first time it's high. 2-2. Now, Denny will do that a lot against the right-handers. He just started that this year. nobody on. The game scoreless. First game of the World Series in St. Louis. First inning. Here's the pitch. Foul ball. It will be out of play. Hit that ball down on the hand. It didn't get much on it. Coaches at first base for the Cardinals. Joe Schultz, the third base coach for the Redbirds. 2-2 count on Kurt Flood, the right-hand batting outfielder. Here's the pitch. Swing, fly ball to right field, going over his K-line. Fairly easy catch for him. He makes the play for the out. 2 down and nobody out, and the veteran Roger Maris coming to bat. And here's the great favorite in St. Louis. Came from the New York Yankees and won a lot of hearts here. For the year, batted .255. 5 home runs, 45 RBIs. Mclean delivers, and Maris hits a little drive into short right. Here comes K-line. He's there, puts it away for out number 3. And at the end of 1 full inning, St. Louis nothing, the Tigers nothing. Will lead off for the Detroit Tigers. The game is scoreless. It's the beginning of the second inning in St. Louis. Cash finished the year batting .263, 25 home runs. He takes a breaking pitch across. Strike one call. Cash hit very well in the second half of the year. He was under the 200 mark in most of the first half. Fastball is low, and the count is even on Norman at 1-1. He opened up his stance during the second half of the year and picked up his batting quite a bit. Gibson delivers. Cash fouls it on the screen. Pee-wee, this fellow's had a history like that. He hits well for half a season, and then another half he won't.
It's a funny thing how just one little change in a fellow's stance will make him feel more at ease up there, and he feels like he can see the ball better, has more confidence, and he's really been hitting well lately.
Gibson delivers. Cash cuts, and this is on a fastball. He struck him out. The third strikeout for Gibson. Now the top home run hitter on the Detroit Tigers, Willie Horton, right-hand batting outfielder, steps up to face Gibson. Willie hit 36 home runs. He was second in runs batted in on the Tigers with 85. Off the sandlots of Detroit, Willie Horton. Gibson ready, delivers. Willie takes a strike. He started to cut and held off. It was a fastball. Horton has had a lot of trouble with his Achilles tendon. He had it operated on. Wears a special shoe. His foot is encased in sort of a cup inside the shoe. Gibson, the fast worker, delivers again. There's a cut and a miss. Well, nothing subtle about that, Pee-wee. He's just rearing back and throwing.
You can see his different pattern of pitching to Harton he did to some of the other hitters. He was trying to throw Harton high fastballs inside, and most of the other hitters, he was trying to keep the ball away from him.
No score. The Tigers are batting in the second inning with 1 out and nobody on. Gibson delivers. Horton takes a strike. He hit the outside corner, either a slider or a curveball, some type of breaking pitch. The fourth strikeout for Gibson. The next Tiger batter, Jim Northrup.
Those catchers don't always tell the truth, but on that pitch there with 2 strikes on Harton, Mccarver really moved outside, and that's exactly where Bob Gibson stood.
Here's Northrup, a left-handed batter. Here's the strike on the outside corner. Northrup hit .264 for the season, had 21 home runs, led the team in RBIs with 90. Cut and a tip foul out of the mitt of Mccarver. Bob Gibson off to a great start on the mound. There's no score in the second inning. The Tigers at bat. They have the bases empty, and there are 2 out. This is developing in the early stages as quite a battle between these 2 pitchers, Gibson and Mclean. Now the windup by Bob. The pitch is a ball in close. Fastball. runner in the game so far. Stanley's single with one out of the first inning. And was cut down on Mccarver's throw to Javier. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Guy retired. And at the end of an inning and a half, it's Detroit nothing, the Cardinals nothing.
This is Pee Wee Reese along with Ernie Harwell at Busch Stadium in St. Louis. We're going into the bottom half of the second inning. There's no score in this ball game. In fact, there's only one hit by Mickey Stanton, the shortstop. The first hitter for the Cardinals will be Orlando Cepeda. Ernie?
Well, it's been Mr. Gibson so far as he has thrown that strikeout pitch, banning 5 Tigers in 2 innings, and the last 4 Detroiters have gone down on strikes. Mclean set the Cardinals down 1-2-3 in their first inning on a ground to shortstop, and then 2 fly balls hit out to Al Kaline. So the first baseman, Orlando Cepeda, takes a high fastball from right-handed Eddie Mclean, ball 1. Cepeda batted .248 this past National League season. Cut and a miss. He sidearmed him that time up in the letters. And the count is even 1-1. After Cepeda, it'll be Tim Mccarver and then Mike Shannon. The outfield is deep and almost straight away on Cepeda. The infield is back. The windup, the pitch. High fastball. 2-1. That's the count on Orlando Cepeda. Checks his sign, goes to work. There's a tap off his foot foul. It throws down toward third base, picked up by Mclean there. Down the lines here in Busch Memorial Stadium, it's 330 feet to right and to left. 386 up the power alley in left and right center. 414 feet directly into center field from home plate. Taking a little bit of time out on the mound, something he normally does not do. He usually works rather quickly. Cepeda waiting on the 2-2 delivery. Foul set on the screen. Well, the Cardinals benched this gentleman for a while in the month of May because of a batting slump. This is his 11th year in the National League for Orlando. A lot of power in that bat, Pee-wee.
Yes, he has. I was just sitting here watching him. He looks to me like he's swinging the bat a little bit better. He hasn't made contact, but he has been hitting the ball well lately.
Here's the pitch. High foul fly. It'll be out of play in the seats. Over back at first base. That's the count on Cepeda. This game is scoreless. Cardinals are batting with nobody on, nobody out. It's the last half of the second inning. Now the windup by Mclean. The pitch. Fouled away. This one back of the screen and then the seats. Tiger infield now is deep. Mccollum playing a very deep second base. Mccollum has found his home at second base, Mr. Reese. He couldn't make it very well at shortstop. He was adequate, but not as good a player as he is at second.
He's really come on strong this year. I've had the pleasure to see the Tigers play quite a few times, and he's done a fine job.
Slow curveball hit in the air into center field, not very deep. Northrup coming in. He's there, in his glove for the out. One up and one away in this scoreless tie in St. Louis in the second inning. And now the young man from Memphis, Tim Mccarver, coming to bat. Mccarver batted .253, had 5 home runs and 48 RBIs in the National League regular season. The batting hero of another World Series back in 1964 when he compiled a .478 average. Left-hand batter waiting. Denny Mclean goes to work. No score, second inning. There's a drive into right center. Maybe up the alley. Digging for it is Northrup. It's going to be off the wall. Northrup picks up the ball. Mccarver going for 2. Here's the throw to relay man Mccollum. The throw to third baseman Wirt. Not in time. It gets by him. And Mccarver has a 3-bagger. triples up the alley in right center. Mike Shannon will be the batter now, scoreless tie. The Cardinals have a man on third. This is the game's first threat by either team. Man on third for St. Louis and one man out. They're pulling the infield in now for the Tigers. Play the ground ball to home plate if it comes up that way. Shannon batted .266 for the season. Man on third for St. Louis. It's a three-bagger for Mccarver. That's the first Cardinal hit. Denny Mclean trying to pitch out of a jam here in a scoreless tie in the second. Delivers high to Mike Shannon. Ball one, the count on Shannon. Mccarver, the runner at third base. Now the windup and the pitch. Ball two, a fastball high. Huey on the relay, do you think they could have got him with a little better relay?
Well, they could have. I just noticed, too, on the relay, when Mccollum goes out on the ball like that where you know it's an extra base hit, Stanley, the shortstop, is supposed to go out there and back him up. Mickey did not go out there. If that ball would have gotten by Mccollum, Mccarver could have gone all the way.
Here's the pitch. Shannon swings a bounding ball foul just outside of third base. That was close. Hit the ball sharply, but he pulled it foul.
This is one of the things that's going to be tough for Mickey to do, is to make plays like that where you've been playing a shortstop, you make them instinctively. It didn't hurt anything then. The ball, if it had been thrown down a little bit better to Mccollum, he may have had a good shot at third base, because I thought Mccarver may not make it.
Sort of slowed up after he rounded second, it looked like. Now they wind up by Mclean. The 2-1 serve. Popped in the air. It'll be foul and out of play. Like down below, so the man from Webster Grove caught that one. No score, second inning. The Cardinals are batting, and they're threatening against the American League champion Detroit Tigers. McLean is asking for new baseball right here from umpire Tom Gorman. Outfield is deep to left on Shannon. The infield still in tight. McLean checking his sign with free hand. It's a 2-2 pitch coming up to Mike Shannon. Mccarver, the man at third base. One out. Here's the pitch. Struck him out. A fastball. He came sidearm on him and got him swinging. McLean's first strikeout today. Julian Javier, the batter now. And the Tigers can move their infielders back. Javier, right-hand batter, .260 average, had 4 home runs, 52 runs batted in. Trying to adjust himself now in the batter's box. McLean working a lot slower than Gibson, Pee-wee.
As you said, usually McLean pitches fast, but not quite as fast as Gibson. But I guess when he gets in a jam like this, he's taking just a little bit more time.
It's the ball low. He sidearmed it. Ball one, the count on Javier. Outfield is straight up and in normal depth on him. Mccarver leaning just slightly off of third base. No score in St. Louis. The first game of the World Series, 1968. The windup, the pitch. Javier takes a high one. It was a curve, 2-0 to count on him. Del Maxwell, the next batter. Triple by Mccarver, getting McLean in trouble. He's trying to pitch out of this jam. He struck out Shannon for the second out. So Mccarver now at third with 2 down. The game's scoreless. Denny checks his sign with his catcher free hand. And the pitch. Strike. Sidearm fastball. Got the outside corner. Well, a little bit of a look from Javier back to umpire Gorman. 90-degree weather, those pitches can stay loose on an afternoon like this. Mclean winds, delivers. Here's a half cut. It's ruled a ball. He swung at a pitch up at the shoulder, but he checked in time. 3-1. That's a hard, tight pitch, Pee-wee, to hold up on, isn't it?
Yes, it is, and this seems to me like it may be, up to this point, Mclean's best pitch is that sidearm fastball of his. He's been doing a real good job with it. He's been coming in and out with it. Mclean likes to pitch low, but Freehand, the catcher, told me that occasionally he will come up with that good fastball of his.
Now Denny checks his sign again. Javier waiting on the 3-1 pitch. Swung on and fouled out of play right down below us. One thing about Denny McClain, Pee-wee, he can get a lot on that sidearm pitch. You know, a lot of pitchers can't, but he can.
That's even a little bit tougher on right-handed hitters. It's tough to stay up there because every once in a while he curves that ball. And there's something about it when you come from third base, you give a little bit. And once you give, you've had it.
And they know it, don't they?
Yes, sir.
Well, McClain getting a new ball now, ready for action. He walks off the back of the mound a little bit. And he is just 24 years old. He lives in the suburbs of Detroit. Here's the pitch. It's a strike called. He struck him out, and the side retired. So at the end of 2 innings, Detroit nothing, the Cardinals nothing.
Top half of the third inning here at Busch Stadium. No score in this ball game. 1 hit apiece. 1 for Detroit and 1 for the Cardinals. The first hitter for the Tigers in the top half of the third, Bill Freehand. Ernie?
Thank you, Pee-wee. Mr. Freehand stepping in now to face Mr. Gibson. The Tigers, with only that single by Mickey Stanley, Gibson has struck out the last 4 on a total of 5 Tiger batters. So here's the windup and the pitch to Freehand. He takes the ball outside. 25 home runs this past season for Freehand. He batted .263. Gibson coming right back, and the pitch is cut on and missed. He gave him a breaking ball, 1-1. Freehand accepted a $100,000 bonus, and maybe a few more than that, from the Tigers to sign off the University of Michigan campus. Strike! There's that fastball. Ooh, he's picking off those corners, Mr. Reed.
Yes, sir. He came in with the fastball. Ball 1. Then he came with a curveball after being behind Freehand. And then he comes right back with a fastball.
Here's a 1-2 serve now. It's a ball outside. That seemed to fool Freehand, but it missed the strike zone.
I believe he may have been looking for the curveball.
He took the half cut, he held up, and it was ruled a ball. 2-2. That's the count. The game is scoreless. We're in the third inning in St. Louis, the first game of the World Series, 1968. Swing and a foul off the mask of Mccarver. Still 2-2 on Freehand. Wally Moses helped this fellow a great deal, Pee-wee, with his batting. He didn't have much strength behind that swing up until a couple of years ago. Now the windup by Gibson, the pitch. Curveball high. Low count.
Talking about Wally Moses, of course, he's been a batting coach for a number of years, and I guess he's one of the best in the game, which, to me, I think it's very important for a club to have that. Also, I imagine the fellow by the name of Johnny Senior, pitching coach over at Detroit, has done a fine job.
He sure has. He's been great. Now the windup and the pitch to Freehand. Fouled out of play. This one over the screen and back of the seat. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. On each side, the Tigers are batting in the third. Nobody on and nobody out. The batter, Bill Freehand, facing Bob Gibson. Now the Cardinal right-hander winds and deals. Here's a pop-up. Maybe out of play. Foul ball, back of the seat. Still 3-2 on Freehand. Freehand is taken over as sort of the leader of this Tiger ball club. Had a great year as a receiver. 25 home runs. A lot of power. Now the 3-2 pitch again. Swings a bounding foul ball. It's down past third. We're in the third inning. There's no score. Each team has 1 hit. Neither team has made an error.
Talking about Freehand being the leader, I got a big kick out of what Freehand wrote on the blackboard in New York after the Yankees had beaten you all 4 straight. He said, anyone that thinks the world ended today, they do not belong here.
Coming in with of the Tiger team into the dressing room. Norman Cash had a line before the guys got dressed. He said, "This is not a drill, fellas." Here's a strike. Here's all over. He took a half swing, and it drew the strikeout. That's the 6th strikeout for Gibson. 5 in a row. Rehan didn't much agree with Mr. Gorman on that last decision.
I don't believe he did, and just slightly tossed the bat in the dugout when he went back.
Don Wirt will be the next Detroit batter in the scoreless tie of the 3rd. Wirt into the season hitting an even 200. Swings and misses on a fastball. Strike 1 on Wirt. Wirt into the season hitting an even 200. Swings and misses on a fastball. Strike 1 on Wirt. Here's a windup, and the pitch, he fouls it off. Strike 2. Sandy Koufax holds the World Series strikeout record for one game, 15 in the 1963 World Series. Dodgers and the Yankees at Yankee Stadium. Here's a ball outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. That also was the opening game of that series. Gibson delivers. Wirt swings. A base hit. Center field. A line shot single by the little Pennsylvanian Don Wirt. He rips one into center. And the Tigers have a man on and the man out with Denny Mclean coming to bat in the scoreless tie, 3rd inning. Fella helps himself with a bat once in a while, Pee Wee.
Yes, he does. Of course, I don't think he's going to be hitting away here. I think he'll be trying to get Don Wirt. I think it'll be sacrificed.
He squares to bunt, and he does bunt. It's foul on the screen.
A triple or a home run or something not too long ago?
Well, he had 3 hits out in Anaheim. Yeah. And hit a 3-base hit, in the game at Detroit. There's a bunt foul. It'll be over the screen and out of play. Denny's tried to sacrifice here, fouled off 2. He's a very good bunter. He has about 16 or 17 sacrifice hits this past season. In fact, he led the Tiger team in that department. They're still looking for the bunt with 2 strikes on him. 1 man on, 1 man out. He bunts the ball, foul, and he strikes out. So here's sort of a bonus strikeout for Mr. Gibson. That's the 7th strikeout for Bob Gibson.
Well, Ernie, I imagine someone will be saying now, just can't understand why a fellow stand there squaring around like that cannot bunt the ball. But Gibson knows that Mclean is going to bunt, and he's throwing that fastball up around his letters, and it's tough to bunt that ball. It's very easy to pop it up.
Two-sided coin, all right, isn't it? Yes, it is. Here's Mccollum batting now. He fanned the first trip. Takes a breaking ball through to let his first strike. The game is scoreless in the 3rd. The Tigers have a man on first and 2 out. Well, the outfield is a little bit to right on Mccollum. He, too, like Cash, hits out of an open stance. Strong arm and wrist on this young man. He swings it. The ground ball is to Peta. He'll make the play unassisted at first base, retiring the side. At the end of 2 1/2 innings, it's Detroit nothing and the Cardinals nothing. The batter, the first pitch from Denny Mclean in close on him, ball 1. Right-hand hitting infielder, Dal Maxwell. Mclean delivers. It's a ball outside, 2-0. That was Denny's curve. Maxwell batted .252 in the National League season, and 1 home run, knocked in 24 runs. No score, last half of the 3rd. Fastball jams him 3-0 on Maxwell. Well, the only Tigers who have not struck out against Gibson are Stanley with a single, Wirt with a single, and Mccollum with a bounce out to first base in the first 3 innings. There's the ball low and away. He walked it. That's the first walk by either pitcher. Maxwell draws a base on ball, and Bob Gibson, the pitcher, will come to bat. Had come close to the consecutive strikeout record in the World Series history. The record is 6. Hot Eller of Cincinnati in 1919. Mo Drabowski of Baltimore in 1966. Gibson had 5 before Don Wirt spoiled the succession with a single in the center field. The Tigers are looking for the bunt here with Gibson at bat for the man on first base, Maxwell. Nobody out. He squares and takes a fastball. Strike called. No score. The Cardinals are batting in the third. Maxwell at first base, and nobody down. Cardinals have had 1 hit off Mclean, a 3-base hit by Mccarver with 1 out, but then Shannon struck out and Javier struck out to end the threat in the second. Here's a bunt. Off the mound comes Mclean, and the field it. Go to first base to McCollum covering. It's the sacrifice. Mclean to McCollum, and Maxwell moves on to second base. Second, 1 man out, and the leadoff man, Lou Brock, steps up again. First time at bat, Brock hit a ground ball to Mickey Stanley, and short hopped it, fired over to Cash to get it. Freehand calling time. He wants to go out to top of Denny Mclean. No runs, 2 hits, no errors. The Cardinals, no runs, 1 hit, and no errors so far. Folks here at Bush Memorial Stadium get a lot of sunshine. Here's the left-hand batting Brock at the plate. Mclean on the mound, checks his runner, delivers. Foul ball out of play. From back to the left of home plate. The wind doesn't affect the game much in this park, does it, Pee-wee?
I wouldn't think so. We have a little breeze blowing here today, but I don't think the ball carries as well in this ballpark as a lot of other ballparks.
All these mini tiers here block off that breeze. Strike 1 to count on Brock. Man on second, that's Maxwell. He walked the sacrifice there by the pitcher Gibson. Now the set by Denny Mclean. The pitch is a ball high. That was a fastball. 1-1. Wirt is laying in a little close at third base, but he's got to watch that man at second at the same time. Here's a pitch. Brock hits a bounding ball to Mclean. He turns. He's got Maxwell in the chase. Gets him at second base on a throw to Mickey Stanley. Safe at first on the field is short is Brock. Mclean turned and then threw Stanley, who ducked behind the run of Maxwell, took the throw for the out.
Mclean made a nice play there. He didn't commit himself right away. He ran at Maxwell and made him make his move, and just as soon as Maxwell went back to the bag, Mclean threw the ball to the shortstop, Santa, who was covering. Well, we're going to get a chance right now to see if Brock will take off. He's on at first. The hitter's hurt blood.
Well, this is something that's been talked about for the last several weeks. The running of Brock against the Tiger pitcher, in this case, Denny Mclean, and the Tiger catcher, in this case, Bill Freehand. Well, Brock drawing a couple of throws. The Tigers say, keep him over there, throw, but don't forget about the batter. Don't lose your concentration on the batter. And by all means, put something on the pitch when you throw to the plate also. He doesn't go, the pitch out. It's a high fastball. Game is scoreless. Third inning, the Cardinals at bat. They've got Lou Brock at first base, and 2 men are out. First game of the 1968 World Series. We're in St. Louis. Brock edging off. The crowd is urging him to go. He does go. The pitch is taken. The throw by Freehand to second. It's wild. Goes into center field. Brock gets up. He'll go on to third. The ball picked up by Northam, and Brock is at third base with 2 outs. base. Took third on the throwing error by the Tiger catcher, Bill Freehand. The throw was to the right field side of second base.
Yes, it was not a good throw by Bill Freehand, but Bill Freehand knowing that he must get that ball out of that glove in a hurry because Brock, that first step that he takes looks to me like he's in high gear. There's something that the trainer has gone out to talk to Lou Brock on that slide at second base. He could have hurt his leg.
Another thing, Pee-wee, Freehand didn't seem to get much steam on that ball either when he let it go, did he?
Ernie, wouldn't you imagine that you get a little anxious, you want to grab that ball in a hurry? It's been talked about so much, Brock getting on it first, you must keep him off the bag, he's going to run as soon as he gets there. You notice Mclean threw over there a couple of times and trying to hold him close. He did not give his real good move to first base, but just as soon as he went home, there goes Brock.
Stolen in his first attempt this year. Last year, he had 7 steals in 7 attempts against the Boston Red Sox. The batter, Curt Flood. No score. Third inning. Man on third base. 2 men out. He bunts the ball toward third. It'll be a foul. Flood trying to bunt his way on.
This is a play that you see the Cardinals pull quite a bit, especially a fellow with Flood up there who can bunt, who's a very good bunter. He'll also push that ball by the pitcher down the first baseline at times. But why he can do this? You have probably the best base runner in baseball, Lou Brock, on at third, and he's always awake, ready to come in. Although it's 2 outs, they still try to catch that third baseman back just a little bit.
So Wirt laying in a little close now inside the bag. It's strike 1 count on Curt Flood. Brock at third. He's coming down the line slightly. Mclean gives him a look. And then he moves on back. This is the second time of the game the Cardinals have had a man at third base. Swing and a miss on a fastball. Strike 2 on Flood. The game is scoreless in the third. Brock seemed to hurt his shoulder in the slide at second base, but apparently not very seriously. Here's a pitch. High and in close. The infield backs up now. It's Curt Flood at the plate. He fly to right field his first time at bat. Roger Maris waiting in the on-deck circle. No score, third inning. Now the windup and the pitch. Swung on and popped in the air. Back of the mound. Wirt is calling for it. The third baseman. Now Stanley takes it. Right back to the pitcher's mound for the out, and that retires the side. So at the end of 3 innings, it's Detroit nothing, St. Louis nothing. This game is scoreless in the opening day of the World Series in St. Louis. The Tigers coming to bat in the 4th inning. And here's a gentleman we're going to have a lot of fun with in the series throughout, Mr. Pee-wee Reese.
Thank you, Ernie. Yes, sir. Mickey Stanley leading thing off for the Tigers here in the top half of the 4th inning. As Ernie said, there's no score in this game. The Tigers have 2 hits, one by this fellow, Mickey Stanley. Gibson's first pitch to him, a breaking pitch is in there for call strike 1. And the Cardinals, no runs on, 1 hit. There's been 1 error in this game. They are playing Stanley straight away. Gibson does not take too much time into the windup. Here's the pitch. Fastball just got that outside corner. Stanley tried to hold up. I believe it would have been a strike anyway. Well, we've had a lot of pitching. Gibson has looked tremendous. Mclean had a couple of men on at third, but they have not scored. Just missed with a breaking pitch outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Mickey Stanley. Stanley would be followed by Al Kaline and Norm Cash. There's a ball hit out to right field. Roger Maris going back. Should have no trouble with it. In right field, underneath it and takes it. Oh, out comes number 1. Al Kaline. He struck out his first time up. Has a .304 lifetime average. 16 seasons with the Tigers. Tim Mccarver, the catcher, moves outside. A curveball low and outside. Ball one. The power of the Tigers have not shown yet against Bob Gibson. Curveball in there for call strike one. 1 ball and 1 strike. Gibson has 7 strikeouts, 5 up in a row before Don Worth got a base hit. Back to the middle. Worth. Al Kaline on that ball right there. Looked like he was fooled on a curveball. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Kaline. We're in the top half of the 4th inning here at Busch Stadium in St. Louis. Fastball way outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. I'm Pee Wee Reese along with Ernie Harwell bringing you the first game of the World Series, the 65th World Series. The 2-2 pitch by Gibson, the kick. It's fouled straight back. Look out, right up here.
You know, watching Gibson, he's got a classic physique for a pitcher. Tall and rangy and a lot of leverage.
Kaline had to go down. Yes, he does, Ernie. And not only is he a great pitcher, he's a great athlete. He was quite a basketball player. And he can really get off of that mound. Feels his position. He's a 5th infielder out there. Bob Gibson with a count of 3-2 on Al Kaline. It's 1 away in the top half of the 4th inning. The windup, the pitch. He got him. Al Kaline. The 3rd strike. That's the 8th strikeout for Bob Gibson. Norm Cash. Here's a fellow can hit it out of any ballpark. Not too many ball players hit that ball all the way out of Tiger Stadium. He's done it 2 or 3 times, hasn't he, Ernie?
Sure has. He's got tremendous power and really improved himself the second half of the season.
Right down and into the bat. It's 2 away. We're in the top half of the 4th inning. Checks his swing. It's high and outside. Ball 1. Defensively for the Cardinals, Cepeda at first. Javier at second. Maxwell at short. Shannon at third. Left field, Brock. Center field, Flood. Right field, Maris. There's a fly hit out into center field. Flood coming in. They have no trouble with it. And that's all for Norm Cash, and that's all for the Tigers in the top half of the 4th inning. 4th inning, Roger Maris, the first hitter. Ball 1 on him. Denny Mclean. Fastball inside. Ball 2. No score in this ball game. As everyone said, it's a pitching duel, as they thought it would be, between Denny Mclean, who won 31 games, and Bob Gibson, the great pitcher for the Cardinals, who won 22 games. Fastball. Outside. Ball 3. Mike Mclean trying to pitch a little bit too tougher to Roger Maris. Still had quite a series last year. Batting .385, leading both clubs in runs batted in with 7. He's tough in the clutch. There's a high fastball, ball 4. That's the second walk. Given up by Denny Mclean. Orlando Cepeda. He flied out to Jim Northup in center field. His first time of the day. He's 0 for 1. There's no one away. Cepeda, who hits to all field, has good power. Freehand, he made a bluff at Roger Maris to throw down at first base. 1 ball, no strikes on Cepeda. The next hitter will be Tim Mccarver, who hit a triple in the 2nd inning. Fastball inside, and Mclean having a little trouble, and here comes Mayo Smith. Out of the dugout, he wants to talk to his pitcher, Denny Mclean. Bill Freehand going out.
Denny doesn't seem to be throwing as hard as he normally does, and Each of his walks in the third and the fourth inning were issued to the leadoff man. Maxwell walked in the third, then Maris leading off here in the fourth with a base on ball.
Hale Smith. Good talking to Mclean. Cepeda. Back in there with a count of 2 balls and no strikes on it. On at first base, Roger Maris. Stanley. And Mccollum over close to the bag. Worth deep at third. Cash holding Maris on. There's a foul straight back. 2 balls and 1 strike on Orlando Cepeda. Cepeda, last year, had a bad series. He would like to come on strong this year. That's ball in time. 3 balls and 1 strike. As Mclean having a little control trouble. Here in the bottom half of the fourth inning, there's no score in this game. The Tigers have 2 hits. And the Cardinals have 1. On at first base, Roger Maris. No one out. Mccarver in the on-deck circle. Mclean set. Here's the pitch. It's foul. Straight back. The count is now 3-2. The Cardinals, they like to run. Roger Maris on at first base, who is not a speed demon, but the count 3-2. No one away. Let's see if Red Sandys, the manager of the Cardinals, will send him. As I said, this ball club likes to run. Mclean would like to strike out Cepeda and throw Maris out at second if he does go. The count is 3-2. Mclean comes set. Here's the pitch. Maris did not go. And Cepeda popped it up. Norm Cash down at first base in foul territory and takes it. And he makes the bluff. Roger Maris. So that was a big out. Mclean getting behind. Cepeda. Mccarver getting a nice hand. Mccarver hit 314 in his final 30 games in 1968. Had a bad series last year. He tripled his first time up. He has the only hit for the Cardinals. Mclean's pitched to him a fastball high and outside. Hit a curveball his first time up. Right out to shoot. In right center. On at first base, Roger Maris. Norm Cash not holding close. He's 2 or 3 steps in back of him. Worth way over third. Mclean's pitch. Fastball too high. 2-0. And Mclean looks like he's a little unhappy with himself.
Control is something that Denny usually has a lot of. It's very seldom does he get wild or even get behind on batters. But he's not quite had that control today.
When he gets wild, Ernie, does he usually get wild with his fastball or curveball?
I'd say the fastball usually, most of the time up high.
The 2-0 pitch. Fastball way outside. Ball 3. Mccarver checking with his coach, Joe Schultz. Down at third base. Maris on at first. The next hitter, Mike Shannon. 3-0 pitch. Mccarver taking it all away. Ball 4. Freehand out to talk to Denny Mclean. Mclean has been 2-0. 2 balls and no strikes on 7 of the last 9 batters. Said Mclean does not lose his poise or his control out there too often. But he's having a little problem right now. Runners on first and second. Maris on at second. Mccarver on at first. It's 1 away. Mike Shannon's the hitter. No score in this ballgame. Windup. Curveball. In there. All strike one. Mclean. A little bit like a ballet dancer up there when he kicks that throw.
Yeah, he moves around pretty good. He's a good fielder, too. May not be quite as good a fielder as Gibson, but he's a good one.
One strike on Mike Shannon, who struck out his first time up in today's game. There's a bat ball way inside. Shannon has to go down. 1 ball and 1 strike. No runs, 2 hits, 1 error for the Tigers. For the Cardinals, no runs, 1 hit, no error. But the Cardinals are threatening here in the bottom half of the 4th inning. Maris on at second by a walk, and Mccarver on at first by a walk. The pitch, foul off the right, back up in the stands. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Well, the attendance today is 54,692 paid admissions. That's the largest crowd ever at Busch Memorial Stadium.
Well, we couldn't have a nicer day. Just a few scattered clouds. Temperature about 80 degrees. Rather aching yet hot in St. Louis during the summertime. A beautiful day for a ball game, and that's what we're having. Here's the 1-2 pitch. The ball is foul back, Freehan takes a look at it, no chance. And the count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. I would say, Ernie, that looking at Mclean on that mound, I don't believe he scares too easily.
No, he's a fellow who has risen to every occasion so far.
Runner on second, Roger Maris. On at first, Mccarver. Mike Shannon. A slow curve. Iron outside. Just missed. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Not use that pitch as much in this game as we normally see him at slow curve ball.
Those are the slow curves?
Yeah, big change up. Sets up his basket with it.
I see too many pitches started with 2 strikes on the bottom. The 2-2 pitch on the way. Base hit. Out of the left field. Here comes Willie Horton. He cannot foul the ball. Here comes Roger Maris to score the first run of this ball game. Over to third. Tim Mccollum. Down to second. Shannon. Base-on balls will kill you. Danny Mclean walked Roger Maris and Tim Mccarver on a 2-2 pitch. Mike Shannon lined it in left field for a base hit to score Roger Maris. And the Cardinals have gone out in front of this game by a score of 1-0. The hitter, Julian Javier. First base is open. The next hitter, Dal Maxwell. Base hit out of the right field. 2 runs will score. Up to the ball. Here comes the goal. Bill Freehan. And knocks it down. Out of the right field, scoring 2 runners. The Cardinals now lead 3-0, and watch out for a hit and run. Maxwell likes to send that runner. Javier on at first base can run. He is checking Joe Schultz down at third base right now. Base hits by Shannon. There goes Javier. Here comes the throw for Freehan. And Stanley throws over wide. Javier playing second base. Walking around, calls time, hurt his knee. And the Cardinals are running them off. 2 balls, no strikes on Dow Maxwell. Mclean's pitch to him. The ball is hit out into left field. Willie Horton calls for it. Should have no trouble with it. Underneath it and takes it for the second out. And talking about Willie Horton, that base hit by Mike Shannon that Horton charged. Tried to throw the run out at home. He didn't get the ball. He got an error on it. Hand for Bob Gibson. Brother, he deserves it. 2 away. Mclean's first pitch to him. Little outside with a fastball. Ball 1. Down at second base, Javier. We're in the bottom half of the 4th inning at Busch Stadium in St. Louis. A good lead off the second. Javier and Gibson had a good ripple. No contact. Tigers no runs on 2 hits. And they have made 2 miscues. The Cardinals have come up with 3 runs here in the bottom half of the 4th inning on 3 hits in this game. No errors. They lead 3-0. It's 2 away. Fastball. Iron inside. Looked like Gibson was taking all away. It has been a tough inning for Mclean. High bouncer is going foul down the third baseline. Gibson will be coming back to second base. Javier. Roger Maris started this off with a walk. Gets the pit out. Then Mccarver got a walk. Shannon got a base hit. Scoring Maris. And he moved to second on the error by Willie Horton out in left field. And Javier find a base hit into right field to score 2 more runners. Maxwell fly out to Willie Horton, right narrow with Bob Gibson with a count of 2 balls and 2 strikes on him, 2 away. And he struck him out. And that's all for Gibson, and that's all for the Cardinals in the bottom half of the 4th inning. But the Cardinals now lead. The Detroit Tigers by a score of 3-0. The 5th inning here in Busch Stadium. Gibson on the mound for the Cardinals. The Cardinals lead in this game 3-0. It'll be Horton, Northrop, and Freehand facing Gibson here in the top half of the 5th inning. The first pitch is popped up. Javier at second base, back on the grass a couple steps, back in and takes it for out number 1. Well, Ernie, the Tigers have been in this situation many times this year.
That's right. They came from behind 40 times over the season, Pee-wee, and won the ball game in the 7th inning or beyond. So that's about 40% of their victories were scored in that fashion.
A late inning ball club, the Tigers. Of course, they're facing a rather tough opponent today in Bob Gibson. Fastball outside, gets by Mccarver. Retrieves the ball. 1 ball and no strikes on Jim Northrop. Northrop struck out his first time up today. We're in the top half of the 5th inning. 3-0 Cardinals. Foul, and he got Tom Gorman, the umpire, behind home plate. Got him on the foot. And that stings a little bit.
Got protection there, but probably not enough.
I think he missed the protection. The fellow's done quite a job for you this year, Northrop.
Yeah, he's been a good ball player. Moved around the outfield. He's led the team in RBI.
1 ball, 1 strike pitch to Jim Northrop. Inside, ball 2. There's a ball foul straight back. And the count remains 2-2. Bob Gibson, as soon as he gets that ball, he's back up on that mound ready to pitch. Looking into his catcher, Tim Mccollum. Tim They're playing Northrop straight away in the outfield and in the infield. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Northrop. Gibson into the windup. That kick. Curveball just breaking inside. Makes the count 3-2.
That's right. No walks and 8 strikes.
8 strikeouts for Gibson. No walks. The count is 3-2 on Jim Northrop. Line drive, Maxwell. There's it. Shortstop. That ball was hit and hit hard by Northrop. The opposite field, right at Dow Maxwell. He leaped up for it and sprinted. So it's 2 away, and that brings up Bill Freehand. Gibson's first pitch to him. A breaking pitch. Inside, ball 1. The Cardinals came up with 3 big runs in the bottom half of the 4th inning. They lead 3-0. Too low, ball 2. Bill Freehand took a 3rd strike in the 3rd inning. He did not like the call. The 2-0 pitch to Freehand. He started, checked his swing, it's inside 3-0. Freehand checking with his coach, Tony Cuccinella, down at 3rd.
Gibson hasn't been behind on many people.
No, he hasn't. 3-0 pitch. Lone outside, ball 4. Well, that's the first walk given up by Bob Gibson. Runs up downward. Got a base hit his first time up, a line drive right into center field. The top half of the 5th inning. Gibson checks Freehand at first base. Swing and a miss by Donworth. With the score 3-0, Cepeda at first base not holding Freehand close. He's a couple of steps in back of Bill. It's 2 away. Shannon a couple of steps in back of 3rd. Donworth kind of fooled on that slider. Tried to check his swing, went through on its 2 strikes on it. Let's see what Gibson does with this one. He comes set. Here's the pitch. Fastball just got the outside corner. And that's all for Donworth. And that's all for the Tigers in the top half of the 5th inning. So the score after 4.5 innings of play, it's still the Cardinals 3 and the Tigers nothing. Bottom half of the 5th inning. Ernie Harwell and Iron TV Race bringing you today's game, the first game of the World Series at Busch Stadium in St. Louis. The first hitter for the Cardinals, Lou Brock. Then it'll be Kurt Flood and Roger Maris. Denny Mclean. Curveball fouled off the left, strike 1. I don't think Brock was fooled on that slow curve. Mclean looked real sharp for the first 3 innings. He got a little wild streak, walked a couple of hitters, and a couple of base hits followed. 3 runs turned up. Ross looked like he was going to left field with that one. Good swing, no contact. 2 strikes on him. Willie Horton over toward the line in left field. Straight away in center field, Jim Northrop. Down to Donworth on 2 knees. A long throw with an arm cash, and that's all for Lou Brock. So it's 1 up and 1 down here in the bottom half, 5th inning. Kurt Flood. Let's see what he's done. He is 0 for 2. Fired out to right field. Up to 3rd base. Denny Mclean into the windup. That kick. There's a foul straight back. Strike 1. $54,692 here to see today's game. Fastball, and Tom Gorman behind the plate. Gives that right arm out. Strike 2 on him. Umpire at first base, Jim Honachik at second base, Stan Landis. Bill Kinnaman at third. There's a pop-up. McCollum going back. K-line coming in. McCollum calls for it and takes it right in front of K-line. So it's 2 up and 2 down. Bill Haller down the right field line. And down the left field line, Doug Harvey. 6 umpires here at today's game. It's 2 away, Roger Maris, who started all the trouble off in the 4th inning with a base on ball. That ball is fouled straight back. Freehand checked it. No chance. 1 strike on it. The last year for Roger Maris. He's been quite successful since coming over to St. Louis from the Yankees. If I remember correctly, he hit 61 home runs in 1951. Lets one go right through his leg. And Roger Maris makes the big turn at first base. The throw comes into Stanley at shortstop. Hayline fires it in there. And the Tigers get their 3rd error of the ball game. Looks like Norm Cash let that ball flame there, and he's kind of back on his heels.
Well, waiting for it to come up, and I don't think it ever did.
Well, I've been there before, Ernie. Randall Cepeda, 0 for 2. It's 2 away. Mclean looks over at Roger Maris. Here's the pitch. All foul off the right. Back up in the stand, strike 1. Remember, fans, Ernie Harwell and I will be right back here tomorrow to bring you the 2nd game of the 65th World Series. 2 great ball teams, the Cardinals winning the National League and the Tigers winning the American League. McLean comes set. Here's the pitch. Fastball inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Roger Maris on at first base. 3-0. Cardinals over to Detroit. Bottom half the 5th inning. Another foul off the right. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Cepeda. Someone made a nice play back in the stands. Gets a nice hand. Number 17, Denny Mclean. On the mound for the Tigers. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Cepeda. Roger Maris edging off the first. Here's the kick. There's a play hard. It's going foul. It hit the 2nd tier out in left field.
That was headed straight for a chicken sandwich in the stadium club.
See, one thing, Ernie, it didn't take long to get out there either.
Oh, boy.
I'll tell you one thing, to have a fellow out there could catch us. He had a glove, Marty Marion, who runs the stadium club.
Right.
1 ball, 2 strikes on Cepeda. Just missed with a curveball. 2-2, 2 away. Roger Maris on at first. Tom Cash at first. Dolph at second. Stanley at short. Wood at third. Here's the pitch to Cepeda. Oh, hit hard out in left field. Willie Horton going back. Can he catch it? Yes, sir. A fine catch by Willie Horton out in left field coming off of that ball. So that's all for the Cardinals here in the bottom half of the 5th inning. The Cardinals lead after 5 innings of play. 3-0 over the Tigers.
Ernie Harwell along with Pee Wee Reese, Bush Memorial Stadium, St. Louis, first game of the World Series. The Cardinals have 3 runs on 3 hits and no errors. The Tigers, no runs, 2 hits and 3 errors, as the 6th inning is about to get underway. Manager Mayo Smith now is making his first lineup change. He's going to pinch hitter Tom Magic, the young left-handed batting infielder with a 203 batting average, will come in to bat for the starting Tiger pitcher, Denny Mclean. And here to bring us the action, Pee Wee Reed.
Tom Magic batting 203. A left-handed hitter. Going in, Bob Gibson batting for Denny Mclean. Fastball. On outside, ball one. Bob Gibson into the windup. The kick. Foul straight back by Magic. See, Mclean went 5 innings. Gave up 3 runs on 3 hits. A little control problem. And walked 3 and struck out 3. That's Denny Mclean. 1 ball, 1 strike on Magic. The windup. The kick by Gibson. Fastball, too low, 2 balls and 1 strike. Oh, he's been in and out of his service most of the year, hasn't he?
Yeah, he had his service sprinkled throughout his playing, and thought it took a little off his play.
Fastball taking in there. All strike 2. On deck circle. Mccollum. As the ball popped up down to the third baseline, Mike Channing coming over and cannot get it. Warming up for the Tigers. Out of sight. Pat Dobson. Two balls, 2 strikes, no one away. Tom Magic, the hitter. And Bob Gibson has looked great so far. He has given up 2 hits and no runs. The kick by Gibson. Fastball, foul off, straight back. See, one thing, he's having his shots up there.
Yeah, he takes a pretty good. That Gibson's not allowed a Tiger, Pee Wee, to get past first base. Single by Stanley, he was out stealing. Single by Wirt, and he was left there on the walk to Freehand. He was left on first.
2-2 pitch. Just outside, ball 3. Gibson taking a little bit more time now. Here's the 3-2 pitch. A grounder out to Cepeda. He'll have to flip the ball over to Gibson coming first base. And he did. And that's all for Tom Magic. You got a pretty good idea right there how fast Gibson can get off that mound. He gets over there in a hurry. And that's a big asset to that first baseman. Giving him the ball. If he can get there and get set, it's much easier play. Dick Mccollum is the hitter. He's 0 for 2. Ground ball out in the right field for a base hit. Mccollum makes the big turn at first base. Roger Maris up the ball into Javier at second. Mickey Stanley is the hitter. Had a base hit in the first inning. Flat out to right field. His last time up, he's 1 for 2. Now then, the only thing the Tigers can do is just sit back and hope they can have a big inning. They cannot hit and run or steal too much, trailing 3-0. Fastball in there for call strike 1. As Ernie told you, the Tigers have not had a man to reach second base. Curveball in there. Call strike 2. And this fellow really works the corner. Let's see what he does now with no balls and 2 strikes on Mickey Stanley. Will he come high and inside or try to hit that outside corner? Mccarver moves outside. And that's where it was. He struck him out. A real blazing fastball by Gibson. And that's Gibson's 10th strikeout in this ball game. And we're just in the 6th inning. So stay with us, fans. 15 is the record. Helped by Sandy Koufax. A base hit by Al Kaline. Over to cut the ball off Lou Brock. There goes Dick Mccollum into third base. Standing up, and Al Kaline in the second with a stand-up double. Well, Ernie, that's the way this ball club's been doing all year. All of a sudden, they look kind of bad. You say, well, they're dead, and bang, bang, home run, back in the ball game.
And that's Kaline, too, Pee-wee, because he fooled him twice on strikes, and then this time Al hit the ball very cleanly and got a two-base hit. And this is the first threat the Tigers had showed at all against Gibson.
McCollum on at third. Al Kaline with a double on at second. Norm Cash is the hitter. First base is open. Willie Horton in the on-deck circle. Gibson checking with Tim Mccarver. Into the windup, here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike one. Sometimes this is when you can really see this fellow go to work. McCollum at third. Kaline at second. That ball just missed inside. Cash struck out the second inning. Flied out to center field. His last time up, he's 0 for 2. The wind up, the kick, the curveball in there. Beauty. That was the curveball you don't see Gibson throw too often. An overhand curveball. Had a real good break on it. Broke right straight down through Norm Cash. The 1-2-strike pitch. Struck him out. Gibson, that ball for Cash, and that ball for the Tigers in the top half of the 6th inning. So after 5 1/2 innings of play, it's still the Cardinals 3 and the Tigers nothing.
Bush Memorial Stadium in St. Louis. The Cardinals have 3 runs on 3 hits and no errors. The Tigers no runs, 4 hits and 3 errors. Replacing Denny Mclean on the mound now for Detroit will be Pat Dobson, the big right-hand reliever. Dobson this season won 5 games and lost 8. Story so far has been the pitching of Bob Gibson. He's racked up 11 strikeouts against the Detroit Tigers. He's had at least 1 strikeout in every inning. He has struck out every one of the Tiger batters at least once, with the exception of the fetch batter, Tommy Magic, who grounded out in the 6th inning. The only Tiger threat came in the 6th. A single by McCollum, a 2-out double by Kaline, but Gibson went to his specialty, fanning Norman Cash. The Cardinals broke the scoreless tie in the 4th inning on a walk to Maris, and then after Cepeda had popped the Cash, Mccarver walked, moving Maris to second. Maris then scored on a single by Shannon to left. Shannon went to second on an error by Horton. Mccarver took third, and then both came in on a right field single by Javier. And that's the story at Busch Stadium so far as we get ready for the last half of the 6th inning with the Cardinals coming to bat. Dobson is a big, hard-throwing, overhand right-hand pitcher. Hails from North Carolina. He's a native of New York State. And this will be his first World Series competition. And here's a man who's been in a lot of World Series, Mr. Reese.
Thank you very much, Ernie Harwell. And Dobson, primarily a curveball pitcher. Throws a lot of curveballs, doesn't he, Ernie?
Yeah, overhand mostly, and got a pretty good fastball, too.
Denny Mclean went 5 innings. Gave up 3 runs, 3 hits. Walked 3 and struck out 3. Tim Mccarver be the first hitter facing Pat Dobson in the bottom half of the 6th inning. The windup, the pitch, a fastball outside, ball 1. Would you believe the Tigers have out-hit the Cardinals 4-3? But they trail 3-0. 2 big walks, as Ernie told you, in that 4th inning. Couple base hits, hurt him. A lazy pop fly. The second baseman, Mccollum, goes back and says, I'll take it, and does. For out number 1. Mike Shannon. Mike Shannon gets a nice round of applause here as he gets that base hit. to score Roger Maris from second base back in the fourth inning. And he's gotten a lot of big hits all year. Clutch hits. For this Cardinal ball club. Say this ball club can do it all. Good defense, not bad power, good pitching, good speed. Don't count this Detroit ball club out yet, though. 1 ball, no strikes on Mike Shannon. Pat Dobson kick. Here's the pitch, a curveball. Inside, ball 2. On deck circle, Javier. Pat Dobson gets the sign. Here's the pitch. Curveball. It's hit foul down the left field line. Back up in the stands. And the count is 2 balls and 1 strike. Game time tomorrow. Same 2 teams. The Cardinals and Tigers here at Busch Stadium, 1:45 Eastern Daylight Time. Certainly hope you can be with us. Bottom half of the 6th inning. Pat Dobson kicks. Here's the pitch. A fastball. Shortstop. It's out on pole, and it's good drawing. Mike Shannon. Kind of surprised Danny a little bit there. He went down that first baseline pretty good and made it close. So it's 2 away. That brings up Javier. 1967 World Series. You remember correctly, he was the fellow that got the first base hit off Jim Lombard, who had a no-hitter going for up until about the 7th or 8th inning. Dobson, curveball, in back of Javier. It did not break. 2 away. 3-0 Cardinals. Bottom half the 6th inning. Javier way back in that batter spot. Inside, ball 2. Dobson in relief of Denny Mclean, who started the game for the Tigers, but no longer around. The 2-0 pitch to Javier. Ground foul down the third base line. Makes the count 2 balls and 1 strike. That the talk about the Cardinals having such a great defensive ball club is this fellow right here, Javier and Maxwell, around that second base. They can make that double play. Fastball, high and inside, 3-1. Don't be surprised if this fastball is right down in there. Javier may be cutting away. He checked the coach at third base. Dobson. Into the windup, the kick, the curveball. He thought he may be hitting, too. Inside, ball 4. It's the first walk given up of Pat Dobson in the 4th by Tiger pitcher Al Maxwell. The hitter, Javier on at first, who likes to run. Be surprised if they send him. His lead right now is not too big. He'll come up a little bit more. Just missed, Dobson did. A little outside, ball 1 with a curveball. It's 2 away. Javier on at first. Maxwell the hitter. He's ready now. There goes Javier. The fastball, freehand, throws to second, and they got him. Javier did not like the call, but he's still out. So that's all for the Cardinals here in the bottom half of the 6th inning. And after 6 full innings, still the Cardinals 3 and the Tigers nothing. On the top half of the 7th inning here at Busch Stadium. Well, fellow I'm working with today, Ernie Harwell. He's been around for quite a long time, 21 years in the Major League, 9 with the Detroit Ball Club, and it's always a pleasure to work with a professional like this, because without fellows like this, I don't know where ex-athletes would be. Ernie Harwell, come on back in here.
Thank you, Mr. Reese, and hi again, everybody. The story of this game wrapped up in that fourth inning, three-run surge by the St. Louis Cardinals, and the great pitching of Bob Gibson, who so far has struck out 11 batters. Gibson had won earlier World Series game where he struck out 13, the second World Series game he ever pitched. The strikeout record of all time in series history held by Sandy Koufax. 5 years ago today at Yankee Stadium, he fanned the 15 New York Yankees. Well, here's Willie Horton leading off from the Tigers' seventh. There's a foul on the screen. He did not get around on Gibson's fastball. Gibson himself set a series record in 1964 over the total series with 31 strikeouts. Horton today is struck out and popped up to second base. 3-0. That's the score. The Cardinals lead. The Tigers have come from behind many times. They'll have to do it again. There's the ball outside, 1-1. Horton, Northrop, and Freehand, the scheduled batters against Gibson. Here's a windup, and the pitch on the way. Willie swings a line shot to the glove of Maxwell, shortstop. That's the second line drive. He's speared their shortstop. The other off to that of the man up there now, Jim Northrop, who is struck out and lined to Maxwell. Northrop takes the pitch in very close, ball one. Here's a breaking ball over, 1-1 to count on Northrop. 3-0, the Cardinals lead the Tigers in the seventh inning. Gibson winds and pitches. It's a strike call, 1 ball, 2 strikes. The Tigers have not hit a ground ball to any infielder except for Cepeda. Either popped up, hit line drives, or most of them have struck out, a total of 11. The Tigers have 4 hits, the Cardinals have 3. And all 3 runs in the game belong to the Cardinals. They came in the fourth. The pitch, Northrop swings and misses at strikeout number 12. Gibson maintains his record of at least 1 per inning.
Kind of see the pattern Gibson there. He threw Jim Northrop 3 straight curveballs. Then he just came in at the blazing fastball.
Been fabulous. Bob Gibson struck out Freehand, who's batting now, and Freehand has walked. Here's the ball outside, a fastball. The walk to Freehand, the only one off Gibson. The Cardinals lead the Tigers 3-0 in the seventh inning. Detroit batting with 2 out and the bases empty. He missed the outside corner, 2-0 to count on Freehand. The Tiger hit by 4 different batters. Mccollum a single, Stanley a single, Kaline a double, and a single by Wirth. Gibson checks his sign now, 2-0 to count on Bill Freehand. Here's a curve across, 2 balls, 1 strike.
This is why he's a great pitcher. Gets behind the 2 balls and no strikes. If he come out with that fastball, not then. Curveball.
Here's the pitch. Swing and a foul, out of play. 2-2. 2 out and nobody on. If Gibson can win today, he'll be the first National League pitcher ever to win 6 World Series games. Here's the motion, the 2-2 delivery. It's a curve in close. 3-2 on Freehand. Whitey Ford has the record for the most victories in the World Series, a total of 10. Swing and a miss, struck him out. That's the 13th strikeout for Bob Gibson. the 6.5 innings. It's the Cardinals 3, the Tigers nothing. Bush Memorial Stadium in St. Louis, and the world champion Cardinals have a 3-0 lead over the American League champion Detroit Tigers as the Cardinals come to bat in the last half of the 7th inning against relief pitcher Pat Dobson. Dobson came on relieving the starter Mclean, whom the Cardinals touched for their 3 runs in the 4th inning. They scored on walks to Maris and Mccarver, a single by Shannon, an error by Horton, and a 2-run single by Javier. Maxwell, the batter, and he takes the ball inside from Dobson. Right-hander Dobson deals again. It's a curve. It breaks over the plate, but it's low. The count is 2-0. Bright, sunny skies in St. Louis. We look for good weather for game number 2 tomorrow. Now Dobson, ready, delivers. Swung on. There's a pop foul between first and home. Cash and Freehand after it. Cash calls for it, makes the catch. And there's one away. We'll get a round of applause now for the great pitcher, Bob Gibson. Gibson steps in as a batter. He is sacrificed and struck out. Those 2 turns against the starting rival, Denny Mclean. Swing and a foul out of play, back in the seat. 1 strike on Gibson. Gibson going after the World Series strikeout record. He's 2 behind Sandy Koufax's mark. He's tied his own series high of 13 set against the Yankees in 64. Right now batting with a strike 1 count on him, and he ducks away from a high hardwood, 1-1. Cardinals, 3 runs, 3 hits, no errors. Tigers, no runs, 4 hits, and 3 errors. Last half of the 7th in St. Louis. Game number 1 of the World Series. High fastball. That'll make it 2-1 on pitcher Bob Gibson. Outfield straight up, the infield deep. Work guarding the line at third now. The 2-1 pitch is on the way. Swung on and popped in the air out toward the middle of the diamond. Let's see who'll get it. Cash is calling for it and makes the catch just to the right field side of the mound. 2 down, nobody on, and the leadoff man, Lou Brock, will come to bat. Denny Mclean started for the Tigers. Left for a pinch-hitter magic after 5 innings of work. Denny was touched by the Cardinals for 3 runs on 3 hits, walked 3, and struck out 3. Dobson has worked the 6th and 7th inning. And now faces Brock, who has bounced to short, was safe on a fielder's choice, and grounded out to third. Wirt laying in close on him. Stanley up a couple of steps at shortstop. Right-handed Dobson delivers. It's a strike above the knees. Strike 1. Dobson checks his sign now with his catcher Freehand and pitches. It's a high one, 1-1. The fellow really turns his back on the pitcher, Pee Wee.
He does. Brock has an unusual stance. His front foot he has a real closed stance. Hits a lot of balls off the left field. And I would be, if I was Don Wood down at third base as close as he's playing, a little dangerous.
Hey, the insurance policy's up anyway. Here's one hit to work, but it's a foul ball out of play. Work's been a fine third baseman, Tigers, ever since he came up. Had a little bit of an off year with the bat this year, but he is still an excellent fielder. 1-2, the count on Lou Brock. Cardinals lead 3-0 in the 7th. The pitch, he backs off from a fastball. 2-2, the count on him. The Cardinal hits a 3-bagger by Mccarver, a single by Shannon, and a single by Javier. RBIs, Shannon knocked in 1 run, Javier 2. Here's the 2-2 delivery. Brock takes the ball. Fastball over but low. Full count. Kurt Flood waiting in the on-deck circle. It's the 7th inning, and the Cardinals lead 3-0. They got all three of them in one inning before. The tall right-hander Dobson now kicks and delivers. It's a curve hit deep to right center. It might be way out of here, and it is gone. A home run for Buck. Center field seat. The first home run of the 1968 World Series, and the Cardinals now lead Detroit 4-0. Got his pitch that time, didn't he, Mr. Reese?
He did. He hit that ball exactly like he was waiting for it. Dobson got the curveball up a little bit. We're talking about him hitting the ball to left field, but of course, you know, Brock does have good power. And that must have carried, Ernie. Had to go over 400 feet.
Oh, it was smoke.
Didn't take long to get out there.
Sure did. Here's Kurt Flood batting now. Right-hand batter 0 for 3. There's a pounding ball up the middle. Base hit for Flood. The fifth hit for the Cardinals. It's their second in a row, the only two Dobson has allowed. Maris leaning in now. He's fly to right. Walked and was safe on Cash's error. Flood getting a lead. Cash holding on the bag with it. Maris takes a strike on the outside corner. The home run by Brock was his third in World Series history. 1 in 64, 1 in 67, and now 1 in 68. Mccollum has a deep in this position at second base on Maris. The outfield around deep to right. Raj takes the breaking ball over. Strike 2. Lead the Detroit Tigers 4-0. The St. Louis team at bat of the 7th inning. They've got a man on first base and 2 away. Set by Dobson, and the right-hander then straddles the slab. Flood not committing himself. Edges back a little bit. Now leads off. He goes. The pitch is taken for a ball. Throw to second. Not in time. He has a stolen base. Freehand's throw was late and to the right field side. Pee-wee Dobson is one of the easier Tiger pitchers to run on because of that big motion he has.
Well, it looks that way, Ernie. Of course, the 2 strikes on Roger Maris looked like Club maybe going. Even if they threw him out, you had Roger Maris leading off the next inning. The curveball broke inside to Roger Maris. Freehan had to go in and get it and come back out, and so it's a tough play.
That's the third Cardinal stolen base. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The count on Maris with 2 out. Flood at second. The pitch is popped in the air, foul. He comes Freehan back, and will be out of play. The Cardinals got 3 runs to break the scoreless tie in the 4th inning. Now they've added 1 here in the 7th on the home run by Brock. Flood followed that homer with a single and is stolen second after 2 were out. So Maris is the batter. And the count on Raj, 1 ball and 2 strikes. He's the oldest of the Cardinal players, the age of 34. This is his last baseball competition. He plans to retire after the series. It's his 7th World Series for Maris. He takes the ball outside. Tipped it, but didn't go for it. 2-2, the count on Maris.
Ernie, talking about the Cardinals and stealing bases during the season, they had a pretty good record, I would say. As a team, they stole 110 bases and caught stealing 44 times. 7-14 percentage. That ain't bad.
You're not kidding. Maris waits on a 2-2 delivery now from Dobson. There's a ball that gets out of the middle three, and he retrieves it, and holding it second is Flood. A very high breaking ball. It was about all Freehan could do to get his mitt on it and block it. Fell behind him. The Tigers play this gentleman to pull more than they do anybody on the Cardinal team, Pee Wee.
You just noticed in Stanley's way over towards second base, Worth almost playing at shortstop. Mccollum about 3 steps back on the grass, way over towards Norm Cash at first.
Dobson sets, delivers to Maris, who pops it in the air out towards second. Mccollum, the Tigers' second baseman, calling for this one, makes the catch, and the side retired. So at the end of 7 innings, Cardinals 4, Tigers nothing. Ed Matthews, pitch hitting for Don Wirt. He took a strike, and there's a curve high for a ball. 1-1 on Ed. Out a good part of the year, he had a herniated disc operation and ended up the season with a .212 batting average. Swings and fouls it out of play in the seats on the first base side of the plate. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here's a fellow you played a lot against, Pee Wee.
Yes, he's one of the few fellows, I guess, on the Tigers that played in the World Series before. He played with the Milwaukee Braves quite a few times.
Matthews takes the cut and strikes out. That's the 14th strikeout by Bob Gibson. Now, Gates Brown will come to bat. He'll be batting for Dobson. Set a pinch hitting record with the Tigers with the most pinch hits in one season in Tiger history. Big, strong left-hand batter against Gibson. The Cardinals lead in the 8th inning, 4-0. Tigers at bat, 1 out, nobody on. There's a ball low, a fastball. Gibson coming right back, delivers a fastball over but low, 2-0 on the pinch batter, Gates Brown. The 3rd pinch batter that Mayo Smithy used. Swing, and there's a fly ball into left field, not deep at all. Brock comes in, easy chance, makes the catch. And there are 2 up and 2 away in the Tiger 8. The Cardinals lead Detroit in the opening game of the 1968 World Series at St. Louis, 4, Detroit nothing. Here's Dick McCullough, the left-hand batting second baseman of Detroit. He struck out, bounced to first base, and singled to right. One of the 4 hits allowed by Gibson. Gibson needs 1 strikeout to tie the World Series record set by Sandy Koufax in '63. Here's the ball low. What a great game Gibson has pitched this afternoon. Here's a foul on the screen. Don McMahon is now warming up in the bullpen for Detroit, veteran right-hander. Gibson has at least 1 strikeout in every inning. Outside of the pinch hitters, he's fanned every Tiger. He kicks and deals. Here's a line shot foul back at first base. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Mccollum. Hey, say one thing about Gibson, Pee Wee, he's picked on everybody, just not 1 or 2 guys.
Well, I was once told that Gibson, he just completely overpowers mediocre hitting. Today, he's just overpowering all types of hitters.
1-2 pitch to Mccollum. He swings and loops one into left field. Brock is there waiting under the lazy fly. It's hit his glove on the side, retired 1-2-3. At the end of 7 1/2 innings in St. Louis, the Cardinals 4, Detroit 0.
Well, they're going into the bottom half of the 8th inning here at Busch Stadium. The Cardinals are out in front of this game by a score of 4-0. We're having a new pitcher coming in here, John McMahon. Denny Mclean started for the Tigers. He went 5 innings. Gave up 3 runs on 3 hits, walked 3 and struck out 3. Gibson went 2 innings. He gave up 1 run, a home run for Lou Brock. On 2 hits, walked 1 and didn't strike out a runner. Talking about, Ernie, about Bob Gibson with these 14 strikeouts. He has tied Carl Erskine, who helped the record, 14 strikeouts against the Yankees in the World Series, and Sandy Koufax, his teammate, broke it 15, and if the Tigers are going to do anything, they better come to life. They have 3 more outs to do it.
Well, I'd say Mr. Gibson has a pretty good shot at that strikeout record in the 9th inning with a potential of 3. And if he strikes out 1, he's tied it. Strikes out 2, he's bested that record. Don McMahon is going to the mound now for Detroit. He'll be their 3rd pitcher. McMahon this year won 5 and lost 2. He's a veteran of many a major league season. This is his 12th year in the majors. And he had World Series experience with the Milwaukee Braves. Suzuki has gone into play 3rd base, replacing Wirt. And Cepeda will lead off for the Cardinals. The Cardinals are ahead of the Tigers in the opening game of the series in the last half of the 8th inning. It is St. Louis 4 and Detroit 0. There's been 1 home run. It was hit by Brock in the 7th. The other 3 runs came on walks and singles off the Cardinal bats in the 4th inning. So here is Orlando Cepeda. He's fly to center. He's popped the first baseman Cash. He's flied out to left. Right-hander against the right-hander. The last half of the 8th inning. It's a strike. McMahon gave him a curveball. McMahon is one of the few pitchers around these days who does not throw a slider. Fastball, curveball, and a changeup. Here's his curve to tie 1-1. Outfield on Cepeda is almost straight up. The infield is back. He takes the ball in close. 2-1 the count on Orlando Cepeda. Well, the Cardinals lead the Tigers in the series' first game. 4-0 in the last half of the 8th inning. There's a high pop-up near 3rd base between home and 3rd. Freehan and Werner after it. Freehan there makes the catch in foul territory. Cepeda is out, fouling out the Tiger catcher, Bill Freehan. Mccarver coming to bat now. He's had a 3-bagger, a walk, and a pop to second base. Around the infield now for Detroit, Suzuki at 3rd base, Stanley at short, Mccollum at 2nd, and Cash at 1st. The outfield is the same that started the game. Horton, Northrup, and Kaline reading from left field around to right. So Mccarver steps in. He's had a triple, a walk, and a pop to second. He scored a run after walking in the 4th. Mann drives him back with a low inside fastball. Shannon waiting at the on-deck circle. Cardinals leading 4-0 in the 8th. McMahon delivers. Here's a foul ball out of play behind the screen. One and one. That's the count on him. The RBIs on the Cardinals side. 1 by Brock, 1 by Shannon, and 2 by Javier. Cardinals broke it open with 3 runs in the 4th. They got that extra run on a home run by Lou Brock in the 7th. McMahon winds and pitches. Here's a fastball in close. Don thought he had a strike that time and yelled into Mr. Gorman. Cardinals have 5 hits by 5 different batters. Brock, Flood, Mccarver, Shannon, Javier. Here's the pitch. It's a ball high, and the count is 3-1 on Tim Mccarver. Mclean started for Detroit. Dobson relieved him of the 6th. McMahon came out of the 8th inning. Bounding ball wide at first. Cash goes to his glove side, has it. Throw to McMahon covering. He gets him. That's the second out. The play going first baseman to pitcher. 2 down, nobody on for the Cards. And here is Mike Shannon, who drove him the first run of the game with a single in the 4th inning. He struck out the time before that, and the time after that, he bounced to shortstop. Outfield to left. Stanley moving up the step or so at shortstop. Suzuki backing up at third. 4-0 Cardinals lead in the 8th. There's a bounding ball foul. It's sharply past third base. Well, it's hard to pick the big hit so far, Pee Wee, but this might be it, that 4th inning single by Shannon. Here's the pitch. He swings a bounding ball up the middle. There's his second hit. So Shannon makes a big turn, holds at first base, and he's the first man on either team to have 2 hits. 2-out single by Mike Shannon.
That's the thing that really hurts the Tigers and Denny Mclean in the 4th inning when he walked Roger Maris and Tim Mccarver.
That was sort of setting the table for him, wasn't it?
As old Frankie Frisch used to say, those base-on balls will kill you.
Here's Javier coming to bat. He had a very important hit for the Cardinals. A 2-run single in the 4th that followed the single by Shannon in that inning. Right-hand batting infielder, Javier. Struck out, singled and walked. 2 out, a man on first base. Shannon. And the pitch is a ball outside to Javier. McMahon is on the mound now for Detroit. The 3rd Tiger pitcher used by manager Mayo Smith. Cardinals ahead by 4-0 over the American League champion Tigers. McMahon ready, deals. Here's a foul off the mid of freehand. 1-1. McMahon broke into the major leagues in 57 with Milwaukee. He's also pitched for Houston, Cleveland, Boston, the White Sox. 6 major league clubs he's belonged to in his career. 1-1, that's the count on Javier. Shannon with a short lead off the bag. Cash holding on the base with him at first. 2 out. Here's the pitch. Swung on, hit in the air to short left center field. Horton and Northrop are there. Northrop makes the catch, and the side retires. So at the end of 8, it's the Cards 4, Detroit 0. Well, Pee Wee, we got a double story right here. Can Gibson break the strikeout record, and can the Tigers do anything with their bats to get back in the ball game here in the 9th inning?
Well, that's right, Ernie, and we've said before, quite a few times during the season this year, the Tigers have come from behind several times. They only have 3 more outs to go.
Gibson delivers to Mickey Stanley. There's a bounding ball to first base. It may go foul. It does. Fielded by Cepeda right off the bag in foul territory. Strike 1 on Stanley. Mickey has done a good job at shortstop. The experiment by Mayo Smith so far has worked.
Looks to me like he's looked pretty good out there at shortstop. And I wouldn't be a bit surprised if you don't see him back out there tomorrow. The Tigers have needed the batting order up here. They have Stanley, have Kaline, and Norm Cash.
Now the pitch to Mickey is a ball outside, 1-1. Bob Gibson has 14 strikeouts. 1 more, he'll tie the series record set by Sandy Koufax in 63. He winds and pitches. Here's the ball wide. 2-1. That's the count. There have only been 2 shutouts in opening games of World Series in the last 17 years. Early one in Whitey Ford. And not one by National Leaguers as Hank Baroy beat the Tigers in 45. Here's the windup and the pitch. swung on and fouled out of play. 2-2 the count on Stanley. Well, the strike right here would tie the record. Here's the windup, the pitch. Swung on and fouled away. So that tension stays with us. Cardinals lead the Tigers 4-0. It's the ninth inning of the first game of the World Series. Gibson within one strikeout of tying Sandy Koufax's record. Stanley waiting on a 2-2 delivery. Here it is. All out of play. This one right down below it.
Looks like Stanley doesn't want to be the 15th strikeout. He's battling him up there, isn't he?
He's giving him a fight, Pee-wee. Gibson going to his strength. That fastball, trying to get it by Mickey, and he's protecting the plate. Now the windup and the pitch. Swinging another foul out of play. Oh, this is a battle. Cardinals have the lead 4-0. The leadoff man here in the Tiger ninth inning. Gibson into action. Here's the pitch. Foul out of play. Well, Stanley hanging in there. That's 5 he's fouled off. Can Gibson break the strikeout record, and can the Tigers do anything with their bats to get back in the ball game here in the ninth inning?
Well, that's right, Ernie. As we've said before, quite a few times during the season this year, the Tigers have come from behind several times. They only have 3 more outs to go.
Gibson delivers to Mickey Stanley. There's a bounding ball to first base. It may go foul. It does. Fielded by Cepeda right off the bag in foul territory. Strike one on Stanley. Mickey has done a good job at shortstop. The experiment by Mayo Smith so far has worked.
Looks to me like he's looked pretty good out there at shortstop, and I wouldn't be a bit surprised if you don't see him back out there tomorrow. The Tigers have needed the batting order up here. They have Stanley, have Kaline, and Norm Cash.
Now the pitch to Mickey is a ball outside, 1-1. Gibson has 14 strikeouts. One more, he'll tie the series record set by Sandy Koufax in 63. He winds it pitching. Here's the ball wide. 2-1. That's the count. There have only been 2 shutouts in opening games of World Series in the last 17 years. Early one in Whitey Ford, and not one by National Leaguers. That's Hank Baroy beat the Tigers in 45. Here's the windup and the pitch. Swung on and fouled out of play. 2-2 the count on Stanley. Well, the strike right here would tie the record. Here's the windup, the pitch. Swung on and fouled away. So that tension stays with us. Cardinals lead the Tigers 4-0. It's the ninth inning of the first game of the World Series. Gibson within one strikeout of tying Sandy Koufax's record. Stanley waiting on a 2-2 delivery. Here it is. All out of play. This one right down below it.
Looks like Stanley doesn't want to be the 15th strikeout. He's battling him up there, isn't he?
He's giving him a fight, Pee-wee. Gibson going to his strength. That fastball, trying to get it by Mickey, and he's protecting the plate. Now the windup and the pitch. Swinging another foul out of play. Oh, this is a battle. Cardinals have the lead 4-0. The leadoff man here in the Tiger ninth inning. Gibson into action. Here's the pitch. Foul out of play. Stanley hanging in there. That's 5 he's fouled on. Outfield a little bit to right on Mickey Stanley leading off. Ninth inning, 4-0 Cardinals ahead. Gibson looking for that 15th strikeout of the ball game. Will he get it? Here's the pitch. Swing, a line shot, center field, base hit by Stanley. That's his second hit, so he's the only Tiger with more than one hit. Stanley leads off in the ninth with a single. This is the first time in the game the Tigers have put that leadoff man on base. Cardinals lead 4-0. Tigers batting in the ninth. They've got a man on and nobody out. Al Kaline is the batter against Gibson. Swing and a miss. Strike on Kaline. Kaline is struck out twice and then doubled. Gibson needs one strikeout to tie the series record. Stanley on first base. Nobody down in the ninth inning. The set, the pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. With a short lead off first, Cepeda playing behind him. Here's the set by Gibson. Kaline waits. Here it comes. He takes the ball outside. Keeping that ball down and away from the Tiger veteran Kaline. 4-0 the Cardinals lead in the ninth. Outfield to left on Kaline. Infield halfway up. Now waiting on a 1-2 pitch from Gibson. Swing and a foul fly that'll be out of play down on the right field side. Pee-wee, do you think Gibson knows that he's got one to go here?
You know, I was just thinking that, Ernie, and I doubt seriously whether he realized that he has 14 strikeouts. And I am almost certain that the Tigers, they probably don't know that he has 14 strikeouts.
Waiting now on a 1-2 serve from Bob Gibson to Kaline. Here it is. Swing and another foul out of play. Well, he got 2 strikes on Stanley. Stanley fouled out 5 and then singled. Now Kaline has 2 strikes on him, and he's fouling off the pitches. Gibson getting his sign from Mccarver. Here's the set by the right-hander. The pitch to Kaline. Swing and a miss. His record is tied. For Gibson. Now Cash takes the ball high, a curve. Well, when Gibson got his 15th to tie Sandy Koufax's World Series record in strikeouts, this capacity crowd stood and paid tribute to him. Cash swings and misses. 1-1, the count on Norman. He's got to know about it now, Pee-wee, Mr. Gibson.
I would say he does now, Ernie.
They told him, didn't they? Yeah. 1-1, the count on Cash. Cut in a minute. Strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Since you brought that up, I noticed he was more or less a little concerned. What is all the cheering about? Then he turned around and looked at the scoreboard, and he saw definitely when he broke or tied the record.
Now the set, the pitch to Cash. Hop up. Foul ball, maybe out of play. It's over near the Cardinal dugout. It's in the seats. Well, we've got one of the thrilling moments in World Series history right here. Gibson has tied Koufax's strikeout record of 15. He's going for 1 more to break the record. The Tigers trying to rally are trailing 4-0 in the ninth inning. They've got a man on and a man out. And Cash waiting on a 1-2 pitch. Here it is. swung on and fouled out of play. Back at third. Well, we get the same pattern every time. 1 and 2, and then everybody fouls them off.
One thing about Gibson, you'll notice in the 9th inning or 8th and 9th, he seems to come on even a little bit stronger. Never tired. He's in great shape.
Now the set, the pitch. Foul ball, out of play. Ground ball hit sharply down past first base. The count remains 1 ball, 2 strikes. Cash is fouled off a couple. He got K-line after that. 1-2 pitch after 2 fouls. The set, the pitch. It's a ball low. 2-2 the count on Cash. Gibson has tied the record of Sandy Koufax. 15 strikeouts in a single World Series game. Trying for number 16 right now against Cash to break the record. He takes his set position. He delivers. Here's a pitch. Swing and a miss. He did it. For Gibson, setting the new World Series mark, 16 strikeouts in the game. 2 down in the 9th inning, Horton the batter, and he takes the ball high from Bob Gibson. Stanley on first. Firecracker exploding in left center field. The Cardinals are leading the Tigers 4-0 in the 9th inning.
Probably sounded like Gibson's fastball to some of those corners.
Here's a pitch. He swings and pops it foul. It'll be out of play. Cardinals got 3 runs in the 4th inning, added 1 in the 7th on a home run by Brock. They lead 4-0. The Tigers are down to their final out. And Gibson has made World Series history by striking out 16 Detroit batters this afternoon. 1-1 the count on Willie Horton. Willie struck out once, popped to second, and lined to shortstop. The pitch. Foul ball out of play. Strike 2. Well, there's that old 1-2 count again. That's flashed on the scoreboard many a time in this inning.
He stays on top of those hitters, I'll say that for him.
Not a single Tiger has escaped being a strikeout victim. He's had at least 1 strikeout in every inning. The total is now 16. And the Cardinals lead 4-0 with 2 down in the 9th inning. The pitch is on the way. It's a ball outside. Low and away, and Horton checked his swing in time. Cardinals lead 4-0. The Tigers have Stanley at first. And 2 down in the 9th inning. Horton waiting. Here it comes. It's the strike. Number 17. The game's over. The Cardinals win. Gets strikeout number 17. That's the end of the ball game, and the final score here in St. Louis: the Cardinals 4, the Detroit Tigers nothing. Well, we've had historic moments here at Busch Stadium in St. Louis as Bob Gibson sets the new strikeout record with 17 Tigers going down on strike, and the St. Louis Cardinals take the opening game of the World Series from the Tigers 4-0. Now to Tony Kubek.
Thank you very much, Kurt. Bob Gibson in your new book, From Ghetto to Glory. Right now, probably one of your most glorious moments. World Series records all over the place. Congratulations.
Thanks a lot, boy. Just great.
What about your impressions, Bob, of the Tigers? You just pitched a fantastic ball game again. What about the Tigers?
Well, the Tigers they're quite a bit like I imagine they would be with guys that are capable of hitting home runs. I knew they would be swinging a lot, so I just had to make good pitches.
Bob, what about the pitch you used most successfully? Was it the fastball, the curveball, the slider? Which was your best pitcher? Were they all good?
Well, today, fortunately, every one of my pitches were working for me. My fastball was good. I was getting it on the corner. My slider I was getting on the corner, and I think my curveball was more of a surprise to them than anything else. So I think that's where the scouting reports help. I don't think they said too much about my curveball.
Bob, you struck out 17, setting a new World Series record. It's fantastic. I mean, the fans just couldn't cheer you. That must be your most thrilling moment in sport. You've had many.
Well, I guess so. I didn't know what they were cheering about, and Tim came out in front of the plate, and I just turned around and looked at the scoreboard. I had no idea.
Bob, during the course of the game, we had a chance to talk to your lovely wife, Mrs. Gibson, your daughter, Renee, and we saw your mother there up there. Your daughter, Renee, was just enthralled. She was almost in tears seeing her daddy out there perform. She's really proud of you.
That's right. She was real excited about getting out of school and coming down here. She's just going to be here for one game today, and then tonight she's going back home, and I knew that she would enjoy the game, win, lose, or draw.
Bob Gibson, congratulations once again. Thank you so much. It's a masterful performance once again.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bob Gibson. Now let's go back upstairs.
And we'll be back in a moment after this message. Mr. Reese, we had a thriller in game number 1, didn't we?
Well, I was kind of interested to hear what Bob Gibson said about the scouting report. He said, I think that maybe my curveball fooled them today. They were probably referring to me as a fastball pitcher, but he threw an awful lot of curveballs today. And as you brought out so many times, Ernie, he was always out in front of that hitter most of the day. He was 1 ball, 2 strikes, and this is a good position to be in because this fella can be so close around that plate that you can't afford to take that pitch.
And Denny Mclean got started pretty well, but he ran into that old boogaboo, the bases on ball.
Yeah, I thought Denny looked real sharp in the first 3 innings, but when you walk those 2 fellas, like he walked Roger Maris and walked Tim Mccarver, and then Shannon, who has all year been getting that big base hit, got a single into left field. Harton couldn't find the ball right away and got an error, and he went on to second base. Then Javier got the big base hit into right field to score the 2 runs for the 3 runs in the bottom half of the 4th inning.
Then Lou Brock hit a home run in the 7th off Freddie for Pat Dobson with nobody on. That gave the Cardinals their 4th run. And the totals, the Cardinals had 4 runs on 6 hits and no errors. The Tigers had no runs on 5 hits and made 3 errors. The starter for the Tigers was Mclean. He takes the loss. Dobson in the 6th inning. McMahon came on in the 8th inning. And the great Bob Gibson went all the way. A magnificent record-breaking performance. He scattered 5 hits. He gets the first National League shutout since 1945 when Hank Baroy beats the Tigers in the series between the Tigers and the Chicago Cubs. And Gibson now is a new strikeout king of World Series history. He has 17 strikeouts in this single ball game. A great opening day of the World Series of 1968. Now we'll be back with more color. Bush Memorial Stadium in St. Louis. The first game of the World Series of 1968 is history. And what history is Bob Gibson set a new strikeout record for the World Series by fanning 17 Tiger batters. He blanked the Detroit Tigers 4-0. 4 runs, 6 hits, and no errors against no runs, 5 hits, and 3 errors. The Cardinals broke the scoreless tie in the 4th inning against Denny Mclean. A walk to Maris, a walk to Mccarver, single by Shannon, an error in left field by Willie Horton of the Tigers, a 2-run single by Javier, knocked in the 2nd and 3rd runs of that inning, and then Brock hit a home run in the 7th inning for the 4th and final run for the Cardinals in the ball game. It was Gibson all the way. He walked only 1 man, and he struck out 17 to set the new record. The Tigers never were able to get anything going against Gibson. The only shot they had at all was in the 6th inning when, with 2 outs, Kaline doubled, and McCollum, who had earlier single, took 3rd base, but then Cash struck out to end the only Tiger threat against the great Bob Gibson.